Hey everybody, thank you so much for supporting Indie Agency News. Before we get started, real quick, want to talk about our preferred partners now. These are not random sponsors. These are companies that have already proven that they help indies win. So I want to share a little something. Let me get this. Let me share this thing here. So we're going to go to the partner page right here. I'm going to share something that might change how you think about growth. You don't need to figure it out alone. I know. As an agency owner, probably used to solving everything yourself, but that's exactly the problem. 13 plus, well, it was 13 when we started. I think there's more there, but 13 Indie Agency News members solved this problem with blood, sweat, and tears. I'm going to open this up right here so you can see this right here. They have an outside perspective on what was holding them back. And boy, they solve a lot of problems related to growth. We all know agency growth feels chaotic, it's hectic, working harder, but the results may be inconsistent. The team might not be aligned. You're shooting in the dark instead of following proven systems. It's exhausting. We all know that. Blood, Sweat, and Tears simplifies all that with their vitals assessment. Now, this is a 40-point diagnostic, like a bar, but for your agency. That shows you exactly where your bottlenecks are hiding. So no guessing. No assumptions, just data. Want proof it works? Take a look at it right there. That track record speaks for itself. 3.5 times revenue growth in 2 years, 10 to 30 times average ROI, 12 million plus client revenue one, and as I said, 13 and probably more in the Agency News members. But listen, more importantly, it helps everything feel less chaotic. So if you're ready to stop winging it and start growing systematically, find out more about Blood, Sweat, and Tears at our Indie Agency News preferred partner page. You can go to indieagency.partners. That takes you right there. And then you'll see right here. You'll see all the things that you need to know about Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And you'll be able to take that audit and also schedule a call with the team there. On behalf of everybody in Indie Agency News, thank you so much for supporting this mission, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And enjoy the show. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for your support of Indie Agency News. And let's meet at Indie Agency. We're going to Richmond, but are the other two of you in Richmond as well?
So Mike and I are in Boston. So we're Richmond and Boston.
That's fantastic. Oh, my God. I love Boston. I was there, several times. I love Richmond, too. I worked for the Martin Agency for a year. Boston, so small agency conference. My daughter and I spent a day in Boston. So we stayed at the hotel on Revere Beach. There was a sandcastle contest going on. Took her to the North End to see her Italian roots. And then we just, in typical Boston fashion, we just flipped off a bunch of Yankees fans. It was great. So first of all, thank you so much for joining this mission. It's great to have you and love the cut of this jib. And we're going to get into it here in a second. But I want to start with a little bit of a thumbnail of the agency. Who wants to give us just a little bit of a breakdown about Another Thing? Chris, you're the big cheese. Chris, why don't we start with you?
Sure. So Another Thing is a 2-day-old agency officially.
So this is July, end of July. So we want to contextualize that.
End of July 2025, and we're excited to get started. So the idea of the agency came about when Nick Kaplan called me one day and said, we need to start something different. And Nick was working at, a big agency. Mike is a colleague from the past. And, when everyone has access to everything, the same ideas, the same content, the same technology, we just felt that brands need to be relentlessly different. And so that was sort of the impetus of the agency.
I like that. I like that a lot. And it's early days, but as you're building this out, and Nick, I want to go to you on this one. As you're going out to market, that was corporate speaky. Sorry.
Okay.
As you're going out to market,
there'll be plenty of that in the next few minutes.
As we're going out to market, we're gonna. But what are the top 3 solutions? Because every agency has a list of a lot of things that they do well. You're early days, but the 3 of you are very experienced and accomplished. What are the top three core things that you're going to be getting out, especially to brands and marketers?
When you say solutions, like how do we
just how you're gonna, I love the position of making brands relentlessly different, but how are you gonna get there? What are the top 3 ways?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know if I'm gonna give you the top 3, but I'm gonna give you how we approach it.
That's fine.
And I think this comes back to like how we're constructed. We talk a lot about starting with social first insights that lead to big brand thinking, which sounds sort of boilerplate. And for us, I think, the brand agencies talk a lot about making work that starts conversations. And we actually really like to flip that on its head and, really look to social and the insights that you can find there to identify these conversations and then turn those into campaign ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, like for us, like there's this goal of making work. We talk a lot about making wildly relatable work. It's great. It's like great stand-up comedy. It's like that kind of work that you just see yourself in, where you're like, oh my God, yes, that is a truth. It is relatable, but it's surprising and it's sort of shocking. And I think like there's never been a moment where you can mine, the internet for these truths. They're all around there. So again, like simply speaking, like we take conversations and turn them into campaigns, rather than the other way around.
Right.
And, Mike's background, he's ran social strategy. He's a brand strategist, but he's ran social strategy for huge brands. I come from a background of more sort of big brand platforms. So that is like our discipline, and that's sort of the formula that we operate from.
Okay. I like that. Let me just switch this real quick. All right. Mike, over to you, Tottenham fan, Spurs fan. I want you to dig into, and I'm going to ask each of you where you worked previously here in a second, but I want you to talk about the importance of independence in all of this and why it's important for the 3 of you to be independent and what you learned where you said, you know what, we can do this better, and Indy is the way to go for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to me. I just think, we want to do things our way, which is the obvious answer. But I think I've worked at both small and big agencies. Like I worked at Chris's first agency where, it was small and independent, and we kind of built our structure the way we wanted to every day. And I worked at big agencies, and I loved everyone I worked there with and the experience.
Sure.
But I think we really want to create our own way of working, which sounds generic, but we've even done it. Like even from just the strategy creative blend, there's no polishing a perfect brief for a client that then you need to change because the creative has ideas. I mean, Nick and I just like bounce insights off Nick. Like a brief has become a text conversation that we hop on and jam out to. And then, we have no shame. The clients that we're working with have been great, just calling them and talking them through it before we put it on paper, because, we pressure test all our strategy with creative. And sometimes, the insight is me giving Nick a bad idea, and then we kind of break it down what the insight is. Right. But I think it's just that formulaic approach that I know a lot of agencies are breaking out of, but it just feels, the bigger agencies are having trouble getting around the department layers. And I feel like this independent, I feel like we're getting to things faster, and we're getting things that are sometimes a little weirder that make us laugh, just because we're breaking that mold and just really, undefining who does what. I mean, we all have a title, but at the end of the day, we're just trying to really come up with something good, funny, relatable. And we do that in a different way.
I'm going to give you this one, by the way. I love Sonny. And
he might go to LA. Did you see that? He might go to
I know. You know what? That sucks. Here's the thing about Spurs, real quick. I despise them with every fiber of my being. Now I'm a Philadelphia sports fan too. So my family's from outside of Philly, and I've been a longtime Philadelphia sports fan. I hate the Mets, but I love their players. And it's the same thing with Spurs. I hate that team so much, but I love that guy. Yeah. I love that guy. And I wish he'd come to Portland instead of going to LA, but he's going to if he goes to LA, great. Yeah. You know what? Good for him. Let's go back to Portland here. I'm going to listen, It's rare that an Arsenal fan is going to give you any sort of time of day, Mike. So
I agree.
Well, and there's going to be money bet when the season really kicks off. So that's fine. Let's move on. I diverge. Chris, what would you say is the main reason a brand should work with all of you? Again, knowing that it's early days, but what's the number one reason?
I think one of the reasons is going back to being indie. Brands are buying our brains, not any bureaucracy. We're three people and a closely knit collection of other experts that we bring to the table, and you're getting the cream. You're getting the best ideas without all the BS. And so we're at that stage where we're working very closely with CMOs. We're working very closely with their internal teams, and sometimes as the complete outsourced outside agency.
Right.
And at this stage, you're getting Nick, Mike, myself, and just a few others. So, right. We're able to move fast, turn insights into actions quickly, and produce good work in a very closely knit relationship with our clients at this stage.
I like it. Chris, what agencies were you at before?
I was actually never at an agency. I started my own agency. I never worked at an agency.
I did.
And so I learned about the agency world by, failing and falling on my face and then getting back up and building, and learned it from people like Nick and Mike, who Nick was a long time sort of, confidant of mine, who I'd ask, hey, how do you pitch something like this? I need an idea for this brand, Nick. What do you think? And so long before we worked together, we were always talking about, agency life, and I learned from these guys more than anyone.
Got it. Nick, where were you?
So I've been in a lot of places. I've done my tour of duty, but cut my teeth at Wieden+Kennedy.
Here?
No, Wieden, New York.
New York. Okay.
Barton, F. Graff, great.
Jerry.
And 72 and Sunny.
In LA or New York?
New York, Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to throw Chris a bone though. I think one thing Chris has done, Chris has been through this. He built something from nothing, and it was ended up getting acquired, and the entrepreneurial, he's been through this story before. So I feel like for Mike and I, who've worked within the confines of, really great indie agencies, but to have an entrepreneur on your team, I think is such a confidence boost that I think creatives and strategists who work within these amazing machines of other agencies, it's a very foreign mindset. So I think Chris gives that to us. And this sounds a little corpo speak, but I even think in this day and age, brands need to think more entrepreneur, more like an entrepreneur as well. And that's another thing we talk about at the agency is taking some of that spirit. So I mean, I don't want to blow smoke towards Chris, but I think it's a really
take it, Chris. Come on, there we go.
That he brings to the table,
come on,
the confidence, and because Mike and I we're scared. And Chris says,
shut up. You're fine. You're fine. Relax. Jeez. It's not like you worked for Ogilvy. Or maybe you did. Nick, sticking with you again, early days, but why should talent, whether it is full-time or freelance, why should they be putting the agency on their list?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have, I know we just started. We do have some work out into the market, which, I think comes back to I want to make work, and I think my track record speaks for itself. I think Mike's track record speaks for itself. That is fun. People talk about and it doesn't need to be just funny, but I think brands again, this is sort of boilerplate, but you have to do something different. And I think the work that we want to do is always, that's the ambition for everything. And, again, we want this to be a creatively focused place that has an irreverent spirit that makes the kind of work that people talk about. And I think, again, I think people want to also like work with brands that feel like they're having fun with marketing. And I
Right.
think that's the kind of work we want to do. So
Yeah.
again, like it's a basic answer. And I also say like, we're no bullshit people. Like I just want this to be an egoless place where it's all about the work and, you know, the joy and the process of making it together.
Yeah. Mike, would you consider I think I know what the answer is for this. Do you consider yourselves weirdos, misfits, or underdogs? And why is that?
Well, I want to know what you think the answer is. That's interesting. All right. Sorry,
Underdogs.
I mean, we're definitely underdogs. I honestly think we're all three. I mean, obviously.
Oh, don't hedge.
Yeah, fine.
You can say all three, but one's going to have a little bit more.
Right now, we're 100% underdogs.
Okay,
I mean,
great.
We're talking to you as three people. I mean, I didn't take a traditional strategist path. So I think like I kind of consider myself a misfit where I was, you know,
Oh yeah, it's fair.
I worked for Chris and I was kind of an account guy. And then I went to Saatchi and I was a strategist and really focused on social.
Oh God, you went to Saatchi? Jesus. Yeah. Oh God.
And then I went to Mullen and I was a brand strategist, but also
God,
would play like a new business, you know? So I think that, you know, misfit works too.
When were you at Mullen up in Boston?
I worked across Mullen and New York. So I worked across the Mullen, New York office. I also did a bunch of pitches with LA.
Did you work with Kristen Cavallo?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. I love her.
I was at Mullen for a good chunk of time.
Jeff Cottrell, he was there for a hot minute.
Jeff was there. Yeah. I was there right around those times as well. So yeah, they were, you know, Mullen was, it's shape shifted a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You are so fucking diplomatic. All right, let's get back to this.
I've never seen Doug dry heave on a interview.
Loved all Nick's agencies needed a bucket for mine.
Nah, you know what? Look at there, the Boston guys. Look at. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, there's great stories that come out of it. And listen, we're indie, so of course we're gonna bang on it a little bit. But you know what? There's good people at all these places. There's good people at all these places, and so we're just having a little bit of fun. We're just sort of poking the bear a little bit. Also,
no, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I just
member agency, poke the bear. And what's interesting, I will admit, like I saw all the banners in the office in Boston. And I saw that back in 2016. I filed that away. So our top 3 for our top 40 awards, the top 3 get big ass banners like that. So I will thank Mullen Lowe for inspiring a little bit of an idea. So yeah, I know I was bailing you out, Mike, before you went too far. And that's coming from somebody who's an Arsenal supporter, by the way. So I don't know what the hell I was doing there. All right, hold on. Let's get back to this. We're going to do a round for everybody. Chris, we're going to start with you because you are the boss.
Weirdos, misfits, or underdogs? Is that the question? Or
I'm going to go to the next one. But what do you think? All right, since you're on it.
Oh, I mean, I would kind of go with misfits because misfits is intentional. You know,
that's interesting. All right, please expand on that.
Well, you could be a weirdo naturally, which we probably all are.
Right.
And we're underdogs because we're just getting started. But, you know, being a misfit means you're intentionally going after something different. And that's what we're trying to do. So I think you may not see the mohawk. You may not see the right. I can't do that anymore. But that's some like elevated stuff right there. Where'd you go to Harvard? Where'd you go to school? Didn't go to Harvard, kid. I went to Revere Beach. I made sandcastles, kid. You went to Revere Beach, but where'd you go to college? I went to Tufts.
Oh,
see, fucking Harvard light.
It is. He was literally community college. He got beat up by someone from Harvard. So
we did. We did. Actually, so Doug, the real truth is, Nick is the younger brother of my college roommate, and that's where it all began. And so we met Nick when he was probably 16 years old. We gave him beer. And he wrote all over our walls with a Sharpie and lost our security deposit. So that's the start of the relationship right there. That tracks. That tracks.
It does.
My alma mater and actually my school at my alma mater has a rivalry with Tufts, International Studies School, University of Denver.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So it's like how bougie is that? University of Denver versus Tufts. Oh,
it's very bougie.
Who has the most diplomats? Let's go to a final question. Whether they are a current client or not, which CMO or marketer do you want to say hi to? Chris, let's start with you.
Anyone who wants to do something different, someone who wants to, I want to say brands who want to behave like a challenger, but not necessarily are challengers.
Oh, fair.
Someone who needs to punch above their weight class.
Mm-hmm. That is an excellent. Follow that, Nick.
Oh man. I think I'm gonna go with a category.
Yeah, that's fair.
That I'm excited about. I think QSR is like the sort of where we have a lot of experience there, and I think it is the prime case study of there's so much, such a sea of sameness and like standing out and creating different. Like ultimately, you have to find a way to pivot. It's just it's such a busy category, and I know like from Mike and my perspective and Chris' perspective, and we also like to eat. So like I just feel like that's definitely a place that we want to start having conversations.
I'm not going to go through the Duncan argument that I have. So, but no, it's interesting because it's actually talking to somebody at Ad Age Small Agency about this. So he was at Yahoo, I was at Advertising Week, the event, and this was 2010, and it was basically Facebook and Twitter. And we were the first, at least we track it. We were the first like brands that were banging on each other publicly on social media. And people were like, oh, that's innovative. Now that you're right, it's just too much. Yeah. It's just too much. Way, way too much. All right, Mike, against my better judgment, I'm gonna let you have the last word on CMO you want to say hi to.
I think anybody who just is becoming a CMO.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think you always hear about that in this industry, like a CMO who started with a small agency and kind of brought them with them, and they just did amazing work together throughout. So I think that would be my dream, is like a young, hungry CMO who wants to kind of take a chance on some good talent, just build great work and, be their guy. I think I've seen that before, and I think it's impressive when that happens. And I think when you're kind of in it together as new agency, new CMO, you just feed off each other and do some great work because you want to do different stuff. There's no playbook. Right. So that would be my dream, is someone who just got going and wants to take some big swings.
Yeah, no, I like that. There you go. That's for you. Fuck you.
They're playing this week. I mean, it's a preseason game.
No, I know. But it's by the way, Mike, the shirt game, very strong. Pineapples.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wow. It's solid. I mean,
there was a debate about that. I thought some people thought it was too much on this call, but I said, it's pineapples.
Look at me. You got to be kidding. Like,
yeah. No, I wanted him to be super insecure for this call. So we did a pre-call, and like as I was hanging up, I was like, nice shirt, by the way. Don't hang up. So
you guys are gonna be just fine if that's the vibe that you're giving each other. I really, really like it. That's really good. Listen, really appreciate the support and supporting this mission. It means a lot to me and the rest of the team here. Do your thing, guys. Just do your thing, and keep on keeping on. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate you having us.